Have you ever wondered what your dog really feels for you? Imagine this, it's a dark night, and you're home alone. Suddenly, you hear a noise outside. Your heart races, and you wonder, what if something bad happens? But when you look to the side, your faithful four-legged friend is there, with his eyes shining, ready to protect you. He's your little guardian, and even though he's just a dog, he'd give anything for you. But how do you know if he really loves you with all his heart? The connection between you goes far beyond just playing and walking. It's a magical and special bond that can even make you feel like a superhero in an adventure movie. However, you need to be aware of the signs that show that this love is true. Sometimes, if we don't notice, we can lose this connection and leave our friend feeling alone and insecure. In this video, we'll explore 7 signs that show that your dog is deeply attached to you. Get ready to discover what he really feels and how unique this bond is. And before we start, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give it a like. That way, you'll stay up to date with all the news and help our community grow. Let's go. First, he sleeps with you. He sleeps with you because he loves you and trusts you. Imagine that your dog, just like you, loves to sleep warm and close to the people he loves the most. In nature, dogs sleep together to protect each other. When he chooses to sleep with you, it's because he feels that you protect him and make him feel safe. Besides, your scent is like a special blanket for him. You know that wonderful feeling of being close to someone you trust? For him, that's what sleeping with you is like. It's like he's telling you, you're my family. Second, he copies your way of being. You know when you're super excited and your dog seems to get excited too? Or when you're a little quiet and he also gets calmer? It's because your dog watches you all the time, as if he were a mirror. If you like to stay home watching TV, he'll also like to stay quiet next to you. But if you love running or playing, he'll be right there by your side, ready to have fun. It's as if he thinks, if you're happy, I'm happy too. Third, he only listens to you. Imagine that your puppy has a superpower. He can understand exactly who the most important person in his life is. When you call him, he comes running, even if other people call him too. This happens because he sees you as his leader, someone he trusts and wants to please. When you use your tone of voice and make gestures that he already knows, he understands that it's time to follow what you say. And do you know why this is so special? Because this exclusive attention is his way of showing that you are the person he trusts most in the world. For him, it's not just a matter of obedience, it's love and respect for those who take care of him every day. Bedroom, he loves to lie on your dirty clothes. Now imagine that when you leave the house, your dog goes straight to that pile of clothes you left in the hamper. He snuggles up there as if it were the most comfortable place in the world. But why does he do this? Simple, because your clothes smell like you. For your dog, your scent is like a hug that never ends. Even when you're not around, the scent left on your clothes makes him feel calmer, as if a part of you is still there with him. And there's more, did you know? By rubbing himself on your clothes, he's also marking his territory, mixing his scent with yours. It's his way of saying, this is mine and my humans, and I'm going to protect it. He does this because you're the most important person in his life, and being surrounded by your scent brings him security and comfort. It's not just a prank, but a demonstration of love and that he wants to be as close to you as possible, even if it's just by smell. Fifth, he knows when you're sad. Imagine that you're having a bad day, feeling sad, and your dog, without anyone having said anything, comes over slowly, cuddles up in your lap or puts his head on your foot. Do you know why he does this? Because he senses when you're different. Dogs have an incredible ability to perceive changes in our mood. They can see on your face when you're upset, in the way you walk, or even in the smell of your body, since our smell changes a little when we're nervous or sad. And the most incredible thing is that he doesn't do this just because he wants affection, but because he wants to help you feel better. He might bring you a toy, lean against you or even try to cheer you up with a lick. It's as if he's saying, hey, I'm here for you. Everything's going to be okay. This behavior is the result of thousands of years of coexistence between dogs and humans, which makes them true emotional companions. They care about you more than anyone else, and will do anything to make you feel better, even if that just means being around. Sixth, he's watching you all the time. You know when you're walking around the house and suddenly you notice that your dog is following you or always glancing out of the corner of his eye to see where you are? This happens because, for him, you are like a guide, a reference of safety. Dogs, in nature, live in groups and are always watching the leader of the pack. So, when he checks where you are, it's his way of making sure that you're safe and that he won't be alone. Sometimes, this can even seem funny, as if he were your shadow. But, for your dog, following you or watching you from afar is his way of saying, you are the person who protects me, and I always want to be close by. In new places or unfamiliar situations, this behavior intensifies. He needs to be sure that, as long as you're around, everything will be okay. On the other hand, if he does this all the time, even when you're out of sight for just a few seconds, it could be a sign of anxiety. Dogs that are very attached can get nervous when they are away from their owners. Teaching your dog to be comfortable alone, with a lot of patience and positive reinforcement, helps show him that it is okay to be separated for a while. He will understand that you will always come back and that he can trust you. 7th, he looks you in the eyes with trust. Now imagine that your dog is there, sitting in front of you, and suddenly he looks you in the eyes. But it is not just any look, it is that deep look that seems like he is trying to say something without using words. For dogs, direct eye contact is something very serious. In nature, they usually avoid it, because among animals, looking directly into the eyes can be seen as a threat. So, when your dog looks into your eyes for a long time, he is doing something very special. He is trusting you completely. This look is one of the strongest signs that he has a deep emotional attachment. It is as if he is saying, "I trust you with all my heart." And do you know what is even cooler? When you exchange this look, your body releases a hormone called oxytocin, known as the love hormone, the same hormone that strengthens the bond between parents and children. This makes you feel even closer and more connected. It's not just a look, it's a moment of pure connection and love. Some dogs may not feel comfortable doing this with just anyone, because it requires a lot of trust. But when he does it with you, it's because you've won his heart in a very special way. So, did you enjoy discovering the signs that show that your dog is so attached to you? Remember that these little behaviors are like messages of love that he sends you every day. Every time he snuggles up to you, looks you in the eye or checks where you are, he is telling you that you are the most important person in his life. Now, it is super important to pay attention to these signs. Your dog depends on you to feel safe and loved, and by noticing these clues, you can further strengthen this special bond that you have. The more you understand your best friend, the happier and more confident he will be. So, be sure to observe how he reacts to your emotions, how he behaves when he is around you, and even the little things he does in his daily life. These attitudes may seem simple, but they are proof that he loves you with all his heart. And remember, the connection that you have is unique and precious. Cherish every moment together and do everything you can to make this friendship grow and flourish. After all, a dog is more than just a pet, it is part of the family and deserves all the love and attention in the world.